This is From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Each week, Janice shares her wisdom to enlighten, educate, and advance the culture in America today. Janice Pons is a mother, author, and free thinker, and your host for our podcast this evening. Now let's join your host, Janice Pons.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in. Come on in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this show, this podcast, From Destruction to Dignity, Clinical Perspectives, Spiritual Truths. My name is Janice Pons. I am the host on this show, on this podcast. And we have been on an amazing journey together. Thank you for continually tuning in, for coming in, being a part. Thank you for the audience is growing. Thank you for those who've been consistently been with me on this journey. We've been on this together, we the people together, as represented by our beautiful flag, our presidential seal, us flowing together as one in our great nation. In this great nation, we've been on a journey, a fact-finding journey during this month of January of 2024. We've been breaking down, looking at the dynamics, the structure, the order of the pillars that our taxpayer dollars pay for and support, our elderly and the Social Security retirement benefits. And we're learning this month that it's way more than just that our taxpayers support, our military that protects us from all enemies, both foreign and domestic, and our education system, which is currently under a dictatorship that we're believing to change, paying the interest on our national debt and our medical care through Medicare being supported. Those are 5 pillars. 88% of our taxpayer dollars go towards that. This is a part of the structure, the infrastructure of our great nation. It has to be there to take care of certain things. This is what is keeping us together. This is a part of why we pay taxes. And I got excited. Go back and look at episode 136 if you want to get the intricacies of the whole tax picture. Why we pay taxes. So, this is the last broadcast. This is our last week together for the month of January. How exciting. The year is flying by already. And you know, speaking of the year flying by, listen, we're going to do this last segment tonight related to Social Security. But we are less than 3 months away from a very exciting event that I have been talking about, and I'm going to keep talking about it because we are less than 3 months away from our prayer service in every state capital in America, where we're going to have the state capitals meetups on Saturday, April the 13th, all across the nation. What are we doing? We are working towards 1 million voices arising, the Mordecais and the Esthers coming together. We've been brought into our nation, into the kingdom for such a time as this. What are we doing? Fasting and praying for our nation. So, one of the integral parts that I've been talking about over and over again are the prayer groups that have been formed, are being formed all over the nation that are part of those Americans that are going to show up at these state capitals, fasting and prayer. We're standing in the gap. We're believing God. We're praying for our nation. God is not done with America. We're praying. We're believing. And we're praying. And we're fasting. And we're supporting each other. And so we're going to have those 1 million voices arising, the Mordecais and the Esthers. But to do this, we're organizing those prayer services at the state capitals, and we have those prayer groups all over the nation. And if you want to be a part of a prayer group to form your own or to be involved in one that's already established in your local area, you can contact me at info@janicepons.com. I will connect you with how you can do that if you so desire. But what we're going to do, we're going to have that state capitol meetup that's going to lead right into culminating with a massive, powerful prayer service on a day of fasting and prayer on Saturday, October 12th, 2024. So we have April the 13th in the state capitals, and we have October the 12th at our Washington Federal Mall. 1 million voices are rising. It's going to be powerful. So I want to invite you to come. The state capitals, that gathering, our meetups there is less than 3 months away. So get it down. You're going to figure out groups that are going to get there together. You're going to ride together, carpool, get your church bus there, get the vans, everybody. Come out, make it a family affair. We're going to have a good time. A day of singing, praise, worship, prayer. It's going to be good. And then we're going to culminate in our nation's capital at the Washington Federal Mall, October 12th. So April 13th and October 12th. It's going to be powerful. I look forward to meeting you. Yes. So tonight, we're going to wrap up our fact-finding journey as it relates to understanding the structure of Social Security. Our taxpayer dollars support this. So tonight, see, we've looked at retirement. We look at disabilities. We've looked at SSI, supplemental income. And tonight, the fourth facet is multifaceted. The fourth facet that we're going to look at are Social Security survivors' benefits. Survivors' benefits. Wow, I didn't know all these details until I started digging. And I was like, wow, our country is set up to look out for each other. Now, granted, there's some political leaders, they're not keyed in, but they're going to get keyed in. And we got a path that we're on. They're going to hear things they never heard before. We're paying for their salaries, $174,000 a year. And we are quite frankly, we're fed up and tired of them sitting in warming chairs and not locked down, focus on them realizing they work for us. We the people. We're paying for their salary. So what bills do they have in what committee? Do you know that a law starts with an idea? A law starts with an idea. Do you know how many ideas I have that could empower this great nation? And I know a lot of you do as well. Is it okay for us to ask them to sponsor a bill and show them why they need to do it? And ask them, what bill do you have in what committee? Accountability is getting ready to go to another level. So, as a lot of them have not been focused on we the people, the ones that they work for, some of them have forgotten about why they're there. Why are they there? Why? What they supposed to be doing? Listen, one thing that's going on that we're supposed to do and we are doing is that our taxpayer dollars are there to help people that are living paycheck to paycheck, don't know how they're going to make it. And some of them are survivors. And that's a benefit that we have. Social, I have to slow down when I say it, it's a tongue twister to me. Social Security survivors, SSS. Social Security survivors benefits go to family members after someone who qualified for retirement benefits dies. They die. They're gone. What a grim reality. While your Social Security benefits stop when you die, your surviving loved ones may still be able to claim checks on your record. Remember, what's the record? You've paid into the system. You've paid Social Security taxes. You've worked 10 years. But all of a sudden, someone dies. And the family's going, oh my God. What am I going to do? That income is gone. And guess what? Your surviving loved ones may be able to claim checks on your working record. The number of credits needed to provide benefits for survivors depends on the worker's age when they die. No one needs more than 40 credits. That's 10 years of work. That's it. 10 years of work to be eligible for any Social Security benefit. When a Social Security beneficiary dies, his or her surviving spouse is eligible for survivor's benefits. Yeah. Wow. That blesses me. So if you paid in, as my mama said, pay into the system, you've worked those 10 years, and you expire, your family's not going to be left high and dry. When a Social Security beneficiary dies, his or her surviving spouse is eligible for those survivor benefits. About 3.8 million widows and widowers were receiving survivors' benefits as of March of 2023. Yeah, based upon their loved one who died, who had paid into the system, and those benefits are there for them. So, Social Security benefits are there for the widows, the widowers, and dependents of eligible workers. This benefit is particularly important for young families with children. Your family members may receive survivor benefits if you die. If you are working and paying into Social Security, some of those taxes you pay are for survivors' benefits. Your spouse, if you're married, your spouse, your children, and parents could be eligible for benefits based on what? Your earnings. You may receive survivors' benefits when the family member dies. That's the bottom line. You and your family could be eligible based on the earnings of that person who died. The deceased person must have worked long enough, which is 10 years. So who receives the benefits, okay? Certain family members may be eligible to receive those monthly benefits, including, here's who can get it: surviving spouse age 60 or older, or age 50 or older if they have a disability. If they have a disability. Surviving divorced spouse under certain circumstances. Yeah. I have people, friends of mine, that they was just like, baby, I qualify for a check now. I said, well, praise God. Yeah, they're divorced spouses. Yeah, surviving spouse at any age who is caring for the deceased, the person that died, their child who is under age 16 or has a disability and receiving child's benefits. We're looking out for the children. Guess who else can get survivor's benefits. Unmarried child of the deceased who is one of the following: younger than age 18 or up to age 19 if they are a full-time student in an elementary or secondary school. We're looking out for our children. Age 18 or older with a disability that began before age 22. Are there other family members that may be eligible? Of course there are. You hear how our nation is set up. You hear the infrastructure. Under certain circumstances, these family members could be eligible. A stepchild, a grandchild, a step-grandchild, or an adopted child. Parents age 62 or older who were dependent on the deceased for at least half of their support may also be eligible. Do you see why we need to be checking these things out? How many people qualify and they haven't even checked it out? Now check this out. I didn't know this. In addition, guess what? A one-time lump sum death payment of $255 can be made to a qualifying spouse or a child if they meet certain requirements. For some people, that's a lifeline. For some people, that's groceries. For some people, that's groceries and gas. For some people, that's paying for some clothes or some tennis shoes for the kids. Come on. People are struggling. Survivors must apply for this payment within 2 years of the date of the number holder's death, the Social Security number holder's death. Now, here's a question to consider. Can adults get their parents' Social Security? Can it? If they can, is it worth knowing about? An adult child can get a parent's Social Security if the parent passes away and the child is either disabled or finishing high school. Wow, I didn't know that. Did you know that? A disabled child's Social Security benefits last as long as the disability persists. We're not going to leave people out there suffering, having nothing. Who's entitled to the death benefit from Social Security? When you die, certain members of your family may be eligible for the survivor's benefit. There's a death of someone who paid into the system, and your family members, widows, widowers, divorced widows, divorced widowers, children, and dependent parents. Wow, I didn't know that. Now I do. So I can be sensitive to situations and say, baby, you know what? Let me tell you, sweetheart. Let me tell you something, my fellow American. That might be worth you checking out. People are struggling. If someone, a child of a deceased parent, listen to this, children specific, this is very important. Here's some key points related to our precious little citizens who are children. If someone dies and they have a minor child, their children most likely can collect Social Security. They got to be taken care of. They got needs. They need clothes. They've got to eat. They need shoes. To qualify for deceased parent Social Security benefits, a child must be under a certain age and the parent must have worked those 10 years. A child with a deceased parent can receive 75% of that parent's benefit. Could that make a difference in some child's life? A lot of times we just don't know how the system works, man. We don't know. We don't know that we can get help. Most people contribute to Social Security for their entire working lives to ensure they'll receive benefits to help them retire comfortably. But there's so much more. That's what we've learned this month. We've been on a fact-finding mission. If someone dies before they can collect benefits, they may never get anything back from the money they put into the program. But someone who dies before being able to collect the benefits, it can help to provide for their family through survivors' benefits. In 2021, listen to what happened with our taxpayer dollars. Social Security paid out monthly benefits totaling $2.8 billion to over 4 million children who qualified for survivors' benefits. Their parents were gone. They were deceased, they were disabled, or they retired. Imagine what it's like. Daddy's not there to work anymore. Daddy died. Mama died. The Social Security Administration, remember, this has been around since 1935. And why was it started? To provide continuing income for seniors during retirement. Workers pay Social Security taxes on their income. In return, everyone who meets certain work requirements receives income during retirement. The income someone earns, this is beautiful to me, the income that someone earns from Social Security retirement benefits is based on 35 highest earning years, but we've learned not only is it for retirement, it's for Social Security supplemental income, it's for disabilities, and it's for survivors. Listen, this fact-finding journey that we've been on regarding Social Security for this month has blessed me because I learned things I didn't know about. Oh my God, there's so many of our fellow Americans who are totally overwhelmed. They don't know how they're going to make it. And from a clinical perspective, as we wrap up the month of January, I just want to encourage us to be cognizant of those who are around us. People, the data is not good. The data is not good in terms of us losing our fellow Americans from fentanyl, from them thinking they can't even go on anymore, and they take certain actions that bring about certain results. It's not good, and when that happens, it's just a quick way to end the pain. But there are other ways to deal with the pain. There are other ways to deal with being overwhelmed. And so as we become cognizant and be aware of those that are around us, we can be that lifeline to each other where we're looking out and just said, "Look, baby, you are over. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me." Listen, I've seen people that were so overwhelmed that they engaged in self-destructive behavior. We don't need to be ignoring that when we see our fellow citizens engaging in self-harm, self-destructive behavior. That's not to be ignored. Now, ice, frozen water. Sometimes in the moment, when someone is in a crisis, they can grab some ice and either eat it or make an ice pack and put it on their head or their chest or douse their face in ice water. Totally turns them around on the spin of a dime. Why? How? It distracts the fight or flight response. How? The amygdala is being activated and makes the body respond with cortisol. which is a stress hormone, and adrenaline. Oh, whoosh. Yeah, they get overwhelmed. You got to do something different. Sometimes, whoa, get some ice. Get some ice. It allows your neurotransmitters to refocus on the pain response of the ice. Kind of shocks them. Just listen to the news of people just gone. Just not responding, just reacting, making horrible mistakes in terms of behavioral choices. Ice. Listen, color. Color away the overwhelm. Sometimes being overwhelmed just feels beyond description and your brain feels foggy. It just gets all convoluted. It's a quick way and it's a fun way to distract you. So every therapeutic setting that I've been in, I always had blank paper laying around. I actually have done in my therapeutic individual sessions, this is about me being as a fellow American, but I do something called color journaling. Wow. Just wow in terms of what happens. But I just like coloring and painting. And you can have a bunch of different colored crayons available. A minimum of 8 colors. Just keep it on hand. Keep it at the house. Keep it at the apartment. Have a coloring party. I always keep coloring sheets, intricate designs of butterflies and flowers, and people sit there for hours and color, and they totally go in another flow of peace. They do. I've seen it over and over again. The more colors, the better. Sometimes if we get overwhelmed, you get in touch with whatever's overwhelming you and the emotions that overwhelm you. It evokes emotions. So you look at crayons and you can just go, man, I don't, you just look at a color and choose a color that best represents how you're feeling. How you feel. Then you use the color to make marks that feel like you're feeling. So that it may be swirls, it may be dabs, it may be jagged lines. Don't make a picture. You're not trying to draw people. You're just connecting with a color that's connected to how you feel, and you're getting it from here to there. Powerful. It represents your feelings. When you feel complete with one color, choose the next. The best captures your feelings. Do the same thing with making shapes. Repeat this a few times, imagining that you lay down color on the paper as you're letting go of and transforming your feelings of being overwhelmed. I went to a women's retreat. Kimberly Blake's, I'm going to it again, in Waco, Texas. Go on Kimberly Blake's page. Hey, Kim. Yeah, she had an activity that we did as women. It was powerful. It was artistic. It was cathartic. It got us from here to there. Thank you for doing that, Kim. That told me a lot about you. Yeah, it was powerful. Repeat this a few times, imagining that you're just laying that down. You're getting it out. You're getting it from here to there, yeah. And then if you're doing it as a group of girls, a group of guys, yeah, come on, guys, y'all need to color too. Or doing it as a family. You're bonding together. You're getting it out. Grounding. Janice will talk about grounding, but I'm talking about literally grounding. That program where 87% of the people were clean and sober and gainfully employed 6 months after completing a 30-day program that I put together. These people were hardcore drug addicts and alcoholics. 99% of them were Cherokee Native Americans. They taught me a lot. One thing they taught me, they said, Miss Janice, we're going outside. We grounded, we took our shoes off, and we put our feet in the grass and in the dirt. I love to do it at the beach. You spread your toes, you stretch your toes, you plant the soles of your feet deep in the ground. It just is a connected, it's grounding. And they just, it was powerful. Notice the temperature of the floor of the sand. Notice the surface beneath you. It is a way of getting out stress. It's a way of getting grounded. Listen, what have we talked about tonight? This whole month we've looked at the pillar of our Social Security, our taxpayer dollar supporting Social Security. That whole flow with survivors and people dying and people getting sick and disabled and so forth and so on, and retirement and planning and didn't plan, it can evoke anxiety. And we've looked at clinical perspectives that can help us get grounded as we continue to go together in our great nation from destruction to dignity. Good night. I'll see you next week. Blessings. See you later.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Janice's mission is to provoke thought, bring awareness, and point people towards intervention when needed. As a reminder, this show is not therapy, but for educational purposes only. For more information, check out JanicePons.com or follow her on social media.
Affirmation, dedication, information, revelation. A new nation. We are God empowered. Strength is ours. Liberty, been set free. Education, affirmation, dedication.